Sandra, anti-Israel protesters still trying to make their voices heard outside of the DNC today. It comes after demonstrators breached the first layer of fencing outside the convention last night. Still, President Biden spoke a few kind words to the protesters in his speech. Let's bring in Joe Concha, Fox News contributor. Let's remind folks what Joe Biden said about the protesters last night in his swan song speech.
Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides.
He said that, and then again, he criticized former President Trump for what he said about people in Charlottesville. I mean, yeah. What do you make of what he said?
John, what Donald Trump said in Charlottesville has been fact-checked, and this lie that the president keeps telling us over and over again about what Trump said and what Trump actually said, it's amazing that he gets away with it. Actually, it's not, because fact-checkers have been on basically spring break for the last 3.5 years. So you could go look at Snopes, and you will see that this is declared false, what Joe Biden once again said that Donald Trump said. But when he said the protesters have a point, all those people up in the faces of Chicago PD, calling them pigs or worse, is that the point? The ones screaming that they'll, quote, bring the war home, is that the point? The ones declaring an intifada against Israel? I mean, it is just amazing to me, John, that the man in Joe Biden, who was humiliated last night by his own party, forced to speak after midnight Eastern time to what? Make room for C and D list members of Congress who are in far better time slots? It's just stunning that Kamala Harris winning Dearborn in the state of Michigan is somehow so important that he's willing to throw Israel under the bus for the sake of preserving his own party's power, all while Israel is under siege by terrorist organizations on 3 fronts and have been for nearly a year now. I'd say that the president should have to answer for that comment in some sort of press conference or interview, but he's already off on vacation at an estate on the water in California after his own party could not get him out of Chicago quickly enough.
So on this idea of folks out there protesting have a point, our Mike Tobin got a point of view from this fellow. Listen to what he said.
You support Hamas?
Every Palestinian support Hamas, not just me. Every Palestinian support Hamas.
You support October 7th?
Who?
October 7th.
October 7? Yes, I do. What's wrong with October 7? You tell me.
Women and children.
What?
It's a murder.
What is this?
Yeah, all right. So clearly, I'm not sure what his point is, but I don't think a lot of people share it.
How do you possibly defend the worst attack on Jews we have seen since the Holocaust? As Mike just asked in that question, what about women and children being killed, grandmothers being killed, people taken hostage that are still hostage today? How can any human being possibly defend that? But those are protesters outside the Democratic convention that Joe Biden says has a point. This should be a much bigger story than it is on other networks, John, but everybody's whistling past the graveyard, literally, at this point.
Yeah, to that point, too, they seem to be, in the mainstream media, giving Kamala Harris a real pass here on not answering any questions about her policies, not answering any questions about shifting her positions on big issues. The fact that she hasn't given any news conferences, she hasn't done any interviews yet. Here's what the vice presidential hopeful J.D. Vance said about it in Kenosha a short time ago.
Kamala Harris is going around asking people to be their president of the United States, but she won't answer a single tough question, and she won't interact with the American people unless there's a teleprompter standing between them and her. And I think that's crazy. And I think that what the media has got to start doing is it's got to start saying, look, if Kamala Harris is not going to stand and answer some tough questions, we're going to stop giving her this fake fawning coverage.
Are you surprised at how incurious the mainstream media is about her?
It's amazing. They let her get away, John, with being the Ron Burgundy of presidential candidates. So whatever you put in teleprompter, Kamala Harris will read. And the fact that it's been 30 days since she became the Democratic nominee, has not given one interview of substance. Forget press conferences. When she ran for president in 2019, John, for all those months, never gave one press conference, never gave one as vice president. Mike Pence gave plenty. And now, obviously, as a candidate. So we're talking 5.5 years where she hasn't given a press conference. And I can bet you, as sure as you were born, she will not give any press conference before November 5th, 76 days from now. It's just too risky, because when you take her at a teleprompter and those pre-scripted remarks, she becomes a human Chernobyl in terms of her ability to speak extemporaneously. His handlers know it. She knows it. And that's why she won't even sit down with The View right now. Rachel Maddow. I mean, pick a friendly interview. They won't even let her do that at this point. What does that tell you, John?
Yeah, well, she probably remembers back to 2019 when her campaign, which was going well, suddenly imploded when people started looking into her record and policy. So I think she's going to try to keep that under wraps until after November. We'll see. Joe, great to get your thoughts. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, JR.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.